Hunter x Hunter chapter 411 plus One Piece 1156, I think it's going to be. I did, 1186. I did tweet about it earlier, but of course I could not remember a number for an hour. But let me tell you what I can remember. I have been rereading The Succession War all week, 10 chapters a day, every day, starting off with like half an hour a day, eventually turning into 2 hours a day. Fun, but not fun at the same time. I do love The Succession War. Of course, this is my first time really talking about Hunter x Hunter in a major capacity on the channel, because I didn't have any real social media that I used to output stuff during the last batch of channel. Oh, okay, no, I probably did. I probably had my my Twitter account back then, but anyway, this is my first time really vocalizing my adoration for Hunter x Hunter. Started reading, watched the anime with my friends a few years ago. Went straight into the manga. I think the first batch of chapters, what would it have been? I did want to have all the volumes next to me. I did actually order all the Succession War volumes so I can have them to the side for reference, but they're not quite here yet. But yeah, I think it was like that one batch of chapters that ends with Crollo looking very downcast when it's revealing that he's on the black whale. I think that's like the first batch of chapters I read as they were coming out, or maybe the one after that. So it's been years. I've been keeping up, but yeah, I definitely needed that reread. I didn't quite remember where we left off last time. And this has helped me remember names, relations, Nen abilities. Very much necessary. And just in case I need it, I do have the Hunterpedia, the Hunter x Hunter wiki, open in a tab. One, if I forget a character's name, or who a character is if I hear their name. Two, so I can pronounce the names a bit better. I like to be on top of pronunciation. And when I'm reading it, when I'm binging it, rereading it, it's not like I need to know how to pronounce characters' names. I did look up a couple, like Hinrig. Wasn't sure if it was like Hinrig. That's a character I really enjoyed on my reread, and I'm looking forward to see if he shows up in this batch. The GU underboss, I believe. Hinrig. But yeah, let's get into chapter 411. Where do we leave off? We left off with martial law. Benjamin is on the prowl and apparently dying. I don't remember how that happened. I was like, in my reread, I think, did I miss a chapter? But either that's going to be explained or it's not going to be explained. Potentially something to do with Balsamilko getting possessed by Hulkenberg. Martial law. He says he is a child. It's like, what was it? I might die, but as long as I live long enough to win the succession, I can make my child king. And I mean, I don't think we know who that child is. I was wondering for a second, wait a minute, is it like Morena? Because Morena, or the real Morena who died, but then I'm like, that doesn't really make any sense. What, he clearly has no relation to her, even though we know she is of royal blood, but not of whose royal blood. I would guess it's not Benjamin. But yeah, anyway, that was like my one thought today. Like, oh, I wonder if that's where this is going. Probably not. Maybe, though. Anyway. Nice to see Raf's in chat. You can try again. I'm not singing. No, we're not turning this into, oh god, yeah, I've got One Piece later, so I'll probably end up singing. Knowing where we are in One Piece right now. But yeah, let's get into Hunter x Hunter chapter 411 announcement. And we have a very cool color page. I was trying to say color and cover at the same time. That was my problem. Of Tsaridnik holding it's theorized to be Pyro's head from Karapika's flashback. I don't believe that's confirmed, but it seems quite convincing. And I love that he just, I mean, he has a, I don't think Togashi has ever tried so hard to make someone look like Jesus. It's not just for Halo and the clothes. He has a Jesus face, to be completely honest. Yeah, well, it reminds me of Morena, also drawn with like the crown of thorns. So I don't know. What are Togashi's thoughts on Christianity? Yeah, well, let's get into this. I know the color page doesn't usually have much to do with the chapter it's in. So maybe we'll see Tsaridnik in this chapter, or maybe not. Okay, I've prepared drinks because I've never read out a Hunter x Hunter chapter before. I'm probably going to need something for my throat. Ninth Prince Hulkenberg's funeral procession will depart here at 1 p.m. and is scheduled to arrive at the Tier 1 Funeral Hall at 2 p.m. We are currently on day 12, Thursday, 8 a.m. in the Ministry of Justice. One thing I have not even tried committing to memory, because I'm really bad at remembering numbers, are dates and times. If we get a flashback, I'm not going to notice until it's made explicitly clear. I mean, this is a flashback, and it's explicitly clear because Benjamin's in his little seat talking to Balsamilko / Hulkenberg. But yeah, maybe reading them out loud will help me actually remember these times and dates. The will stated that the princes will be exempt from the farewell send-off in consideration of the succession battle. I shall return after his personal guards have been disbanded and reassigned below Tier 2. Well done, thank you. Yes, sir. And of course, we are reminded that this is not Balsamilko that is talking. It is Hulkenberg, and I love how he's always depicted as a floating head or a weird superimposed face on Balsamilko's face. I like how Togashi depicts it. And we have Kaiser, I believe. God, I'm going to be testing myself on these names. How is 11 Prince Fugetsu? Sleeping soundly. No wonder. She needs to rest until she recovers enough to wake up on her own. Of course, yeah, we're right in the thick of their weird, loserous kidnapping plot. We'll have to see what that's about. Am I the one making her expend excess energy? Listen to me, never think that way. Fugetsu needs you. She won't last without you. Wherever 9th Prince Hulkenberg got himself killed or was assassinated by 1st Prince Benjamin, his funeral will be grand and solemn as to not offend people. Offend the people. We'll wait and see until the funeral is over and hope it ends smoothly. Meanwhile, we should prepare ourselves for what comes next. And we see, room 302. I guess it's Tier 3. I don't know if we know this room. I guess the only rooms I'm really capable of recognizing are the prince's rooms. And we see, I think this is one of Morena's people. I think. Is it one of Morena's people, or is it one of the royal guards who are talking about Tsaridnik? Either way, it's either Borkson's old crew or Borkson's new crew. And they are making themselves up in the mirror, changing their appearance quite a bit, and looking completely different by the end. Now they are apparently a maid. Oh, that's some makeover. You've gone senile, Granny. This is who I really am. And the other one is my persona as captain. Just keep telling yourself that. The 9th Prince's death has greatly altered the situation. Are you still going with the plan? Yes. Finding the exorcist is necessary, so I want to expose him ASAP. Okay, I think this is my first time getting confused about, oh god, there's so many characters. Who am I looking at right now? I definitely recognize the face. I'm worried I'm mixing up who this character is, basically. It's better if there weren't any, but we have to assume that there is and search accordingly. We need to tailor our response to the type of exorcist we find. How many days do you need to accumulate the curse for the 14th prince? A whole week if we're in different rooms and I can't see them. If I get lucky, they let their guard down. I get close enough, I'll kill her on the spot. In that case, have Kako take over for me. Okay, okay. So wait, is this one of? Oh wait, no, is it one of Duazel's people? Is that? Oh yeah, I think that's it. I kind of mix up Duazel's people and Morena's people because they're both just murderous lunatics. But yeah, I guess this is one of those people who are like cursing the princes, one of the have-nots. So yeah. Also, for me, one thing that I never expected that I'd remember all the queen's names until I realized that they're just number names. You know, got Unma, Duazel. I can't quite remember Zhang Lei's mother's name. It's like Tang something, and I'm not sure what language that's supposed to sound like. And then it's like Catrono is obviously Quatre. Swinko is cinco. Spanish, I think, for five. Was it Seiko? I think Se is Italian for six. I did look these up. Sevanti is seven, obviously. And Oito could be Italian otto, but I'd really like to think that there's a bit of Welsh sprinkled in there. I'm biased. But if it's like a mix of oith and otto to make oito, that would be cool. Anyway, back on track, because it's going to take me long enough as it is without going on tangents. I'll kill her on the spot. In that case, have Kako take over for me. Okay, here I go. And we're back to room 1014, Prince Woble's suite with Venen lessons. And we have a whole bunch of characters whose names I have not bothered remembering. Furikov, Bobby Mina, I'm not quite sure how to say his name. Bill, Shimanu, is one of these Tufty? I can't remember. So many names. I really am impressed by what Togashi commits himself to. Workshop, second round. Current participants 18. Based on the results of the previous round, a plurality of participants requested we continue with the lessons. I've decided to increase class size and split it into an introductory class and a beginner class. I will have the intro class be able to use Nen within 2 weeks. That's my guarantee, just like last time. Furikov thinks, which one of us watches over the intro class? Are you sure you don't need a primer? Oh, sorry. Which one of us watches over the intro class? You, of course. The prince thinks you need it. Are you sure you don't need a primer? No, seriously, you need it. I promise a beginner class that you will master the basics of one of the 4 exercises per week. Furthermore, in the intro class only, I plan to allow an extra student per prince for the princes whose agendas align with ours. Please confirm over the phone whether they desire to fill the extra slot. The beginner class will also be a month long, but you can drop out at any time, of course. The basics of the 4 exercises in 1 month? That's an unthinkable pace under normal training, but it's not impossible with a literal kick-start to the process. If the succession battle stalemate continues for another month, the beginners will become bona fide, that's how I've always heard it, bona fide Nen users. They would no longer be defenseless cannon fodder. He's increasing the number of recruits. In addition to equalizing military strength, he'll spread out the guards in the other princes' quarters and induce the succession battle as a whole toward a more defensive contest. Yeah, I've just realized, because we flashed back to before martial law, we're doing a whole lot of setup, and it's just going to get so chaotic. Oh, there's a lot of reading to do on these 2 pages. Mr. Bellary? We see Bellarante, Hunter, 13th Prince's bodyguard. Didn't people get murdered during the previous workshop, and they still haven't found out who did it? Will we be safe this time? Honestly, I don't know, but I don't think they'll go after you. Do let me know right away if you see a girl in a mask. Does it feel like your skin has cleared up? My shoulders are less stiff. I know. I still get tired, but I feel more energized. And we have Eladia. Oh, I'm not gonna read out every single job description. Ladiolus. Sixth Queen Seiko keeps denying it, but if the soldiers tried to seal the area, then 10th Prince Kacho is no longer as rockily. Just do as we're told, says Yuri. If the extra person we're bringing is a guard like Gateau, it must mean Nen is that powerful? Yes. 7th Prince Luzerus desires to watch and wait until the trouble with the Mafia has settled down. This grace period is a great opportunity for us. We're with the 2nd Queen Duazul now, but no matter which prince becomes king, all of us will face restructuring, says Satobi. Gaining this skill will significantly impact our options. Yeah, and it would be valuable to get in contact with 2nd Prince Camilla's personal guards here, says Javietti. She's one of the maids, right? Could be a spy. 14th Prince Wobble is in the master bedroom. This is Sarah Hell, 2nd Princess, captain of the guards. I'm closer than I thought. I might be able to get my hands on something she used. So 5 days may be enough. This is 10th Tory. More people, along with a joint declaration of surrender with 5th Prince Tubepa. This is a strategy to induce chaos and defend via obfuscation. Oh, first drink break. It's unwise to reduce personnel in room 1003 any further, Your Highness. We could always invite Prince Woble's party to dinner after the workshop is over. We'd rather not have it reported to First Prince Benjamin that we've become good friends. I've been waiting for this answer. The Mafia will take care of the armed conflict in the end anyway. I don't need to share this special ability with any more rivals in this rat race. I understand, then leave things to us. Sakata is here anyway. We could get him to take the class. We've carried over to 5th Prince Captain Maur. I may be prepared to use Nen, but I'm still basically powerless against 1st Prince Benjamin's personal guards. All I can do is keep improving myself and highlight our collaboration with Zhang Lei to Benjamin. Benjamin's personal guards must have noticed the appearance of 5th Prince Tubepa's Nen Beast. This will act as a deterrent for a while, but in the meantime, we'll invite Karapika over for training. I can't be choosy if the prince is in danger. Karapika's watching over. Hulkenberg is dead. The prince whom I hope to make my stepping stone to connect with Tsaridnik. We never found out the secret to the ability that produced that tremendous rumbling. He didn't die of illness. He must have been assassinated. I've just realized it is going to be such a cool moment when eventually they hear the rumbling again. It is going to feel like the second coming. And right before the trial with Benjamin, it's obvious that there won't be any proof. I'm not keen on it, but I must consider using the truth of his death as a starting point to instigate the general public into chaos. It was a deterrent for the higher princes and a symbol of hope for the lower princes. Just having his personal guards in the room produced the right amount of tension mixed with a sense of security. Now that it's gone, I wanted to stoke the uncertainty felt by the higher-ranked princes, even if doing so increases risk. But no other prince would want to send more of their people to room 1014. And what was this character's name? Let's flip back a bit. Sarahel. Sarahell's watching Karapika. I'm Gipper, assigned to Tier 1 to replace Borkson. Is there anything to take note of for taking on Muhan's role? Yeah, don't die. If more of us get killed, the prince won't stay silent and he'll start blaming me, just when his attention was pulled away from me. So, we'll begin with 9 in the intro class and 9 in the beginner class. Divide into 2 groups. We see Lizlera. I'd rather be here than taking the sixth bitch's abuse. 6, that is Seiko. And just to test myself, I think Seiko is Momose and Mariam's mother. And I think I remember that scene at the beginning of the arc where it's like she's the one who took all the guards from Momose and put them on Mariam. So yeah, I do remember that Seiko is not very nice and definitely totally responsible for Momose's death. I didn't like it, but anything to help sixth Queen Seiko. Well, wait a minute. I'd rather be here than taking. Okay, so that's what she's thinking, and she's saying out loud. I don't like it, but anything to help sixth Queen Seiko. Let's work hard. If I can really get superhuman powers, it'll be more useful for 11th Prince Fugetsu. I'll be able to fight too. I'm scared. I don't know. I don't want to do this. I want to go back to room 1013, says Naipe. Just focus on leaning. Oh, typo. Typo. Definitely don't. I definitely do not blame the translator for making a typo with the amount of words to translate here. Just focus on learning then, huh? Says Gato. Yes, avoid going off on your own. Waiting it out is the way for us to safely and surely improve our status. You mean you, not us. The princes keep dying, and our target is a freaking baby. How long could this take? What idiot would pass up this chance? It's a path to a sure promotion. If the snake charmer is among us and attacks another one of Tsaridnik's personal guards, we may go to court. Is there a slight possibility Tsaridnik would appear himself? Those in the intro class, clasp your hands any way you want. For the beginner class, I'm passing out a black piece of paper. Can I say something? I'm Slaka, affiliated with 2nd Queen Duazel. I want to join the intro class. The 3rd Prince's Guard here. What's he thinking? I don't mind. Affiliated with Queen Duazel, so you're 2nd Prince Camilla's Royal Guard? No, 3rd Prince Zhang Lei's Guard. If I'm going to stand here, I might as well learn something. Zhang Lei, a watchdog for a lower-ranked prince, left his post? That's unthinkable. Oh, bless me. Is he monitoring to gain something important? If they're going to leave us out of the loop, we should reconsider the treaty. You idiot, you're giving them unnecessary information. Is he trying to destroy the relationship we're trying to build? And, 10th, no, it's not 10th Tory, some guy is looking at Slaka, and Slaka's like, bastard, he's doing it on purpose. Last time they took advantage of me being hands-off and snuck around making backroom deals. If they're keeping this information on then, they could sway the succession battle all to themselves. I ain't playing along with this we're all buddies charade. Good grief. As some of you may have noticed, he's here under special circumstances. To find out important information on Nen that could affect the results of the battle for succession. Now is as good a time as any for the announcement. I'd like to talk about it right here and now. Wait, hold on, it's not a good idea. You are going to use that information to your advantage. Is that what you mean? Oh, sorry. Hold on, it's not a good idea. You were going to use that information to your advantage. Is that what you mean? I'm afraid it's not that kind of information. My wording seems to have caused a misunderstanding. I apologize. I'm sorry it was possible to interpret what I said to mean only the prince who had the information would benefit. Wait a minute, how else are we supposed to take it? Oh, allow me to explain. On this ship, we're in the middle of a succession battle to determine the next king of Kakin, an aberrant process where the sole survivor inherits the throne, which begs the basic question, why go to such lengths? The cause that they're fighting for, needless to say, is for the prosperity of a nation, Kakin, a king to lead more than 1 billion people. The ritual to facilitate this decision has a more than adequate mandate to go to such lengths. Nen further maximized the results and validated the ritual. That's how it all began. The use of a Nen ability with its vows and limitations empowered the leadership of the next king. We see Nasubi here. Because they triumphed through such a brutal competition, it virtually guaranteed prosperity for the next generation. Nen is that powerful. When I say vows and limitations, this is a key aspect of Nen. When Nen is brought to bear, using strict rules that put people at great risk, the power of the effect is multiplied exponentially. The act of sacrificing the lives of kin down to a single successor demonstrates considerable determination and carries the risk of wiping out the entire clan. And that's the level of determination required to demonstrate the intent of going through with a ritual. We've only reached the second phase of this process. There are 4 phases of this ritual, which, powered by Nen, make up the battle for succession. Dedication and prayer to the gods, making an offering to the gods, a celebration of the spirits of the dead, theocracy, the unity of state sacrifice and governance, pray for... Oh, wait a minute. Have I read this in the wrong order? Okay. Dedication and prayer to the gods, pray for national prosperity and pledge a vow, making an offering to the gods, sacrifice the lives of kin as testament to their commitment, the celebration of the spirits of the dead, gather together the bodies of the princes who died and form a sacred energy convergence, theocracy, the unity of state sacrifice and governance, with the massive power generated, administer the affairs of the state. I think that was the order I was meant to read it in. It's critical that the succession proceed the way it does. Without these risks, the new leadership would lack the necessary power for governance, meaning sufficient Nen to maintain the spirit beast of a king worthy of leading the people of Kakin. This limitation is the important information that will affect the results of the battle for succession. It'll take 2 months for the black whale to arrive at the new continent, and 12 days have already passed. We have a month and a half. The ceremony in which the current king will formally announce which prince will succeed him is scheduled for right after we disembark. The deadline for resolving the succession battle is the end of the voyage. Determining the successor within that time is non-negotiable. If there is no sole survivor by the deadline and the ritual fails to be completed, the Hui Guo Rou family will fall from power. And we have a whole box of every god reacting to that. And I think I've earned a drinking break. Not alcohol, by the way. Ooh. I do find the visual here interesting, because one of the useful things of reading this chapter, over the last week, is I remember there was a chapter recently that had a similar visual to this knight standing in light over the bodies of a bunch of men. And I remember it was Hulkenberg who was talking about this and realizing, the necessity of to make a great nation, you do need to be a bit brutal. You do need to build it on the bodies of good people. Maybe not quite that sentiment, but I remember that a very similar visual to this was given to Hulkenberg. But yeah, the fact that this is being sort of told to everyone at this point does make me wonder how much time is left in this arc. It's obviously the release schedule for Hunter x Hunter is unique, to say the least. We wonder if this arc's ever going to finish, or, what is the intended length anyway? But the fact that this is being communicated at this point makes me wonder if we have quite a lot left. Maybe we're not getting a time skip or anything like that. But yeah, let's move on. Okay, last 2 pages. Fall from power, change of government, the ability to adapt through the ages and manipulate the masses are enhanced by Nen. Without this, it would be inevitable. Wouldn't the risk be greater if failing to meet the deadline resulted in everyone's death instead? Why a fall from power and not annihilation? The concept of a sole survivor already fulfills the vow to put lives on the line. Depriving all choices during the ritual would be enforcement. That's the opposite of a Nen limitation. A choice must be left open for them to not carry out the ritual to completion. It's part of a risk that more than one prince is allowed to survive. Leaving this avenue for the weaker participants put the ritual itself in a vulnerable position. This way, the risk that the ruler may fall to ruin is hidden in the time limit. You're bringing this up? Oh, Furikov is shook. You're basically egging us on to hurry and kill those lower princes. They're muttering around him. And one more thing. I have another crucial announcement. 14th Prince Wobel is not eligible for the succession battle. Oh, okay. We see Wobel sleeping and Oito not, well, just looking very shaken. Okay. Huh. What's that? Okay. Is this a lie? I guess that's the thing. Is this a lie? And if so, how is Karapika meant to convince people that this is a lie? Sorry, how is Karapika meant to convince people that this is true? I mean, is there any kind of... I mean, the only qualifier is that they need to be a child of a queen of Kakin. Like, that's one of the interesting things that was brought up in the last batch, I think. That it's not that you have to be a child of the king, it's that you have to be a child of one of the queens. So the implication here is that either Oito's been lying, Oito's been misled somehow. Not sure how you could pull that off unless Wobel's literally been swapped out with another baby at some point. It'd have to be pretty early on, I feel. Yeah, that's very interesting. I mean, that's the thing. It's exactly what, it's kind of like, yeah, by the way, yeah, you do need to finish the succession battle. It is quite necessary or the country falls apart. And, now that I've egged you on, by the way, you don't need to come get us. Like, it's a very convenient thing to say. I feel like Karapika has a lot of explaining to do. Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know how... Like, a big declaration like that makes me want to think that it's Togashi basically announcing it to the reader. But it could just be misleading. That could be it. But yeah, what did we learn this chapter? I think I should try and condense these things, because at the end of the day, this was a good chapter to sort of bring us in. We know where we flashed back a bit, or maybe it's better to say we had a flash forward at the end of last volume with martial law. So yeah, Balsamilko's still possessed. Benjamin's still relaxing in his seat. He hasn't gone to war yet. Kaiser and Kacho and Melody are still hanging out. Dwazel's assassins working together, making moves. Lessons still ongoing, expanding. I mean, we've described this new teaching style splitting between beginners and whatever the other word was, in novices. But yeah, presumably these lessons are gonna, I don't know, maybe martial law won't affect the upper levels that much. It's definitely gonna throw the lower levels into chaos, but maybe these lessons will still continue even through martial law. It's yeah, cool, good chapter to ease us in. And you know what? I'm glad there weren't any big major bombshells or ridiculous reveals. I mean, we don't know about this Wobel reveal at the end, but I'm glad that it was nothing too big, because I feel like I definitely would have got spoiled I've been seeing a bit more Hunter x Hunter on my timeline than I expected, and it's basically just turned into me seeing the front cover page and me seeing One Piece fans and Hunter x Hunter fans having a really pathetic dick measuring contest. I did not realize there was such a feud between those two fandoms, but Jesus Christ, it's insufferable. But I haven't actually heard anything about this chapter, which I'm glad about. I feel like if it tu- if we got the first chapter back and it was like Machi dies, I feel like I would have seen that. I feel like if it was something big, I would have seen it all over the timeline. I'm glad this was a more subdued chapter for that reason. Um, yeah, I've seen Rafts in chat. I'm sure it just swells up when Hunter x Hunter comes back. Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just who I follow. I don't follow many One Piece accounts because I explicitly try not to get spoiled on One Piece. I mute One Piece every week. I'm muting Hunter x Hunter now, which sucks because I'd love to read like discussion threads about about these chapters. I just don't want to get spoiled. Raf saying this and the last batch starting off with big reveals with the Beyond Children. This and the last batch starting off with big reveals with the Beyond Children reveal. Curious if Karapika's speaking truly or not. So, yeah, it feels too good to be true. I've explained what's going on, and here's a reason why you shouldn't kill us. It feels very convenient, but either way, Karapika's going to need to come up with a convincing reason. Unless he's really banking on his announcement getting interrupted by martial law, which I don't think he could account for. Yeah, I think that's about all I have to say for this chapter. So let's move into the other side of the fandom war and go into One